Howdy, howdy, y'all. Ball Card Zero here. There wasn't a ball card show this weekend, so just kind of roamed around central North Carolina, hit a few flea markets, went to a few ball card stores around the Charlotte area, and just see what I could pick up. So let me show you what I found. So as always, start out with the dollar cards, and of course, got to show you my league leader cards. So the first one is from the 1961 set, the 60 strikeout leaders, Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax, Jones, and I can't even read that last one. Brogley? My eyesight's so bad. But anyway, condition is real bad. Looks like it might have been taped or something or glued or something at some point. But luckily, my approach to ball cards is similar to my approach to women. I have very low standards, which allows me to pick up a lot more. So, therefore, I got that. From the 70 set, got a Fergie Jenkins, Bob Gibson, and Bill Singer. I've never heard of Bill Singer, but back looks wonderful. Yeah, I've never heard of Bill Singer. So this is pretty cool right here, because if you remember in a previous episode, I said this. Batting leaders, Yastrzemski, Frank Robinson, Al Kaline. RBI leaders, Yastrzemski, Harmon Killebrew, Frank Robinson. If I'm not mistaken, that was Yaz's Triple Crown year, so there should be a home run leader with him on top. So now I have all three of Yaz's league leader cards from his Triple Crown year. It's not the best condition, but unlike the other two cards, it doesn't have mold. '73, Rod Carew. He's not looking back. '65? Is that 65 or 66? 66. Oh, and it's got mold. '66, Frank Robinson, but mold. I have no idea what year this is, but I think it's '79. Moses Malone, which in my opinion, Moses Malone is probably the most underrated player in NBA history. This guy, when he retired, he was like third all-time leading scorer. I mean, and multiple MVPs. I mean, the guy, what more could he have done? But, a lot of people just don't appreciate him. 81 Topps. Shit. I might have really screwed that one up. Okay. Here's an 81 Fleer, Ozzie Smith. Just now realized it doesn't even say the name on the front, the manufacturer, which I know the Topps didn't back in the days, but I mean, this is the laziest design. Look at that. That is just pure. I mean, there's nothing creative about that. That was their first set. '83 Rod Carew. At least it says Topps on there. It's only $1. I probably regret picking that up. A Steve McNair rookie. Tragic story, but he was a good quarterback, especially at Alcorn State. I don't know if you're old enough to remember how he was at Alcorn State, but my God, he was unstoppable. I only paid $1 for it. But it was kind of like a Sports Flicks card. It is. I didn't realize Sports Flicks even made cards back then. I thought they quit making it. But anyway, it was a Sports Flicks card. And then I was flipping through and I saw this and I said, oh, it's just Kirby Puckett, 91 Leaf. And I flipped through it and then I flipped back to it and I said, let me just check one thing on that. So I flipped it over and it was the preview card. So what Leaf did in 91 is they would insert like 2 or 4 of these in the Donruss factory sets for 91 to give you, just basically tease you of, the Leaf set that was coming out, because Oldani Leaf was such a huge hit. I mean, especially with that Thomas. But this I think every team had one card in the preview set, and obviously Kirby Puckett was the representative for the Minnesota Twins, and these were really collectible at one point, but apparently they're not worth too much now because I paid $1 for it. My favorite basketball player of all time is the Admiral, David Robinson. So, wanted to pick up some of his cards, and right here's one I don't think I've ever seen, is a card of David Robinson in his college jersey. That you can see that he played for Navy, and also like these shiny cards. So, pick that up. Another shiny card of David Robinson, Mystery Finest, Topps Mystery Finest. Real shiny. These cards are really cool. Check these out. So, I don't know if you can see it or not, but they're transparent. So I really like those. Another shiny David Robinson card. I believe that's probably from an All-Star game. And then look at this. It's got to be Upper Deck. I'm sure it is. But look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. And it was only $1. And I love, look at that. That is beautiful. The old Spurs logo. And I also picked up a couple Shaqs. Here's a Fleer Metal Shaq. I don't think that's his rookie. No, it's 95, so it's definitely not his rookie. But let's address the elephant in the room. Look how yellow. Look how, that's not yellow, that's bronze. That card holder is. I mean, that is, I don't know, you just don't see that anymore. But that's god awful. Card's fine. It's just that holder is bad. And then I picked up this other Shaq, and this is when during his days with the Lakers. And I first thought this was a hologram, so I kept looking at it, trying to get the right angle. And then I realized it's not a hologram. That it's actually, can you see it? Check that out. It's actually a negative. It's a positive, not a negative, because the colors are not reversed. If it was a negative, the colors would be reversed. Anyway, so that was cool. And all those cards for $1. I believe that might be all of the dollar cards that I have. Picked this card up for about $3, I believe. I don't even know if, I'm sure I have this or had it at least one point. But it's his Griffey Jr. Topps Traded. When it first came out, it was called the XRC Rookie, and the 90 Topps was his first Topps card, according to Beckett. I think they've since changed that. The only thing I see wrong with it is it got a little printing booger on it right there. Other than that, pretty sharp looking card. Paid $5 for both of these cards. So the first one, and I'll show you the second one, is this home run leader. It's got a big crease going down the middle. But the big name on there is Reggie Jackson. And I've heard of Norm Cash. I've never heard of Bill Melton. But, God, and look at those ugly red White Sox hats. Played for the White Sox, but their hats were god-awful. Thank God that didn't last. Now, this is really cool because I paid $2.50 for it. It's a 60? Might be 50 or 69. 59 or 60. 69. It's a 59. So it's a 59 Ed Matthews. Terrible condition, but again, that's okay. For $2.50. And what's weird is I just found another Eddie Matthews card on my last trip to a ball card show. So back-to-back Ed Matthews. Now, okay, y'all all know that I like, as I've said, I like Auburn, War Eagle. So check this out. Cam Newton in the Auburn jersey, in his Auburn uniform. Probably not worth anything. I paid $1 for it, but my God, that is beautiful, that blue and orange. So I had to pick that up. And obviously I liked Cam Newton because he played for Auburn, but I also liked him because he played for the Panthers, and he always gave me some great photos when I would go to the games. Side note, I don't know if I've said this or not, but at one point, so a side note, I used to be in the newspaper business. Not anymore because everybody knows how newspapers are doing right now. But I was a photographer and editor and then general manager of various newspapers and stuff like that. But one of the perks of the job is I would get to go to the Panthers games, and I would go to the locker rooms after the games. I could be on the sidelines taking photos. So having a player like Cam Newton that you know is going to give you some great photos is always just like a godsend because it makes your job a lot easier. So anyway, just wanted to clarify that. Here's some other Auburn cards, or at least players that went to Auburn. Y'all know I love Frank Thomas, Big Hurt, shiny card. I had to pick this up for $1. Looks like that might have been at the Metrodome, that ugly stadium. But anyway, and then this one, it took me a while to figure out who that was. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's Frank Thomas, and it says his rookie on there. I don't know, but this card is really limited. When I mean limited, I mean it. You can see on the back, it says plain as day that this card is limited, one of 250,000. Back then, that was limited. That was a limited run. And then some of my favorite baseball player of all time. These were only $0.25 apiece. Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson. Bo. 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 And you don't see too many cards of Bo in the Angels uniform because he only played one season. It was his final season. And he didn't even play a full season because the season ended because of the work stoppage, the strike. So he never even got to finish the season. And he was actually having one of his better seasons next to his '89 season when he won All-Star MVP. That was his best season. But he was really playing very well. And then retired at the end of the '94 season. So these were only $0.25 apiece. So I had to pick up every one of them. And I might have some of these. I don't have many of the Angels. No. Look at the guns on that son of a gun. Look at the guns on that son of a gun. I'll be editing that out. God almighty. So a card that has always intrigued me was anything from the 1991 Donruss Elite set. I've always wanted one of these cards. Didn't matter who it was, but to my knowledge, these are the first cards that were actually that actually said like card number 7 out of 500 or something. It actually told you exactly which card number you had out of and it also said the print run. So anyway, went into a card store and I found this. And Doug Drabek of the 91 Donruss Elite. Now, Doug Drabek had really one good year. In fact, this was his best year, or 1990 was. Won Cy Young. But he was that's probably the weakest card of the entire Elite set, Elite series. But it wasn't much. I think it was like $15. And so I picked it up. And then I started looking around. And the guy also had this. So, of course, I picked that up. It was a little bit more. I mean, George Brett's a lot more collectible than Doug Drabek. So I picked it up. And I asked him, I said, do you have any more elite cards? He goes, no, no, no. And then a few minutes later, he's like, well, I found one. The Hawk, which was one of my favorite players growing up. I loved the Cubs back then. So I had to get all three of them. And all three of these cards, along with some other stuff that I bought, were right around $100. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh, wait a minute. No fucking wonder this is so shitty. I'm gonna shoot this all over anyway. That's why. Now I'll show you real quick why what I'm talking about. Like, oh yeah, and these were real limited at the time too. At the time, 1991, if you a run of 10,000 was real limited. I mean, honestly, I think they said you might get one elite card in a case. I never pulled one. My friend got the Nolan Ryan. It wasn't even an elite card. It was like a Legend of Legends or something like that, or Elite Legend. He got it, and it's more limited than these. He pulled that out of a pack. But anyway, you can see that these cards are 3645 out of 10,000, so on and so on. So that is really. I'm really happy to have these. I might have paid more than I should have. I know I remember seeing like one of these cards were only like 10 or 15 bucks not too long ago, about 5 years ago. Something else I picked up at that store in Charlotte, and I'm really excited about this right here. They had a bunch of packs. 91 Fleer rack packs. And every one of these packs was $1 a piece. 90 Donruss, 91 Tops. So 91 cello. It's not really a cello pack. I can't remember what these things were called, but they got like they hang like a rack pack, but they're like a cello pack. So I can't remember. 91 Tops rack pack. There is a 91 Tops cello pack. Another 91 Tops, 91 Fleer, 91 Donruss with Big Mo Vaughn right on the front, 88 Donruss, and I'm going to rip all these in another episode. 88 Fleer, 91 Top, no, I'm sorry, 90 Tops. 88 Score. And then at another store, I bought, and I have no idea what this stuff is. Oh, yeah. Also bought a pack of 90 Upper Deck. I don't even know what this stuff is. I'm going to show you these. I'll rip these open later as well. But it's some new cards. Again, I don't know what the heck this stuff is. I don't even know how much I paid for those. But all these cards, all these packs here were $1 a piece. So real cool stuff. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to opening up these packs. It'll be just like back in my childhood. I'm going to go crazy, but I'm going to do that for another episode because I don't want this episode to be too long. So until then, y'all have a good day.